Hello and welcome to another instructional video. This video is for our customer Robert Jarnagin and his custom concession trailer. We're going to be going over startup procedures, shutdown procedures, and general maintenance of the concession trailer. First thing that I want to talk about is how to safely hook up your trailer to power, whether you'll be running off of a generator or short power from a building like we are. You always want to be safe when hooking this up because it is 240 volts and that is a dangerous amount of electricity, so we always want to be safe. First thing, we always want to check that our supplied power, whether it's coming from a building or from the generator, is in the off position. So your generator off or the circuit breaker to the cord that comes out is in the off position before we plug anything up. That way the system is not live and we could eliminate any chance we have of electrocuting ourselves. I always hook up this side of the trailer first. You will be at a slight angle when you plug this in to align some alignment points. Once you align the alignment points and push it all the way back, you can go ahead and rotate it just a quarter of turn to lock it into place. Once you have hooked up your trailer, you could go ahead and plug into your supplied power. Please remember, always handle this plug by the back of it. There are two prongs in there on either side. If you were to contact both of those prongs and plug in to a live circuit, that is how you electrocute yourself. So just beware of that. Always operate this plug from the back of it. Once you are plugged up, then you could go ahead and flip on your circuit breaker or turn on your generator, and your trailer is supplied with power. Up in the front Vino section, this customer wanted a restroom. We do have an operational vent fan as well as interior and exterior lights hooked up to the light switch right here. Inside your restroom is also going to be your 12-volt battery that powers your lights, interior and exterior, your water pump, as well as your vent fan. Up here we have our circuit breaker panel, our main 100 amp circuit, and then this is for your 240 plug right here, and all your 20 amp independent circuits, with them all marked on the side of the panel. Down below this, you have your 12-volt fuse system. So all the fuses for your 12-volt system. Again, everything that's running off the 12-volt is going to be your lights, interior, exterior, your vent fans, as well as your awning is going to be running off that 12-volt system. Up above that is going to be your 12-volt battery charger. That is what is supplying power to your battery while the trailer is plugged in. Very nice hot water right there. GFCI outlet to the right of it. And underneath here, you do have your 12-volt water pump, as well as your water heater underneath your restroom sink. Speed handle that is supplied with the trailer for your stabilization jacks. Please remember, stabilization jacks are only strictly for stabilizing the trailer. They are not for leveling the trailer. To level the trailer, you'll be using the tongue jack to level up and down, and then blocks underneath the tire to level side to side. Driver's side, right behind the Vino section, is going to be your city water fill box. This is where you'll be filling up your fresh water tank. or be running supplied pressurized water if you are supplied pressurized water at your spot. If you are supplied pressurized water, you'll hook up to this port right here, and it bypasses the water pump and the tank altogether, going straight into your water heater. And then if you are not supplied pressurized water, you'll be running off the 30-gallon freshwater tank. You'll fill up this, which fills up the tank and runs off of the 12-volt pump and water tank. I'm gonna put this key here for safekeeping around your faucet. That is for your city water fill box. Right below your city water fill box, you do have your black tank for your restroom, as well as your gray tank for your drain. To operate this, you'll hook up a 3-inch RV drain hose, or just a regular hose to this one, garden hose. Run your hose to a suitable drain. Once you ran to a suitable drain, you can then go ahead and open the wastegate valve and drain the contents of your waste tanks. Same thing for the restroom black water tank. You just need to dump those in certified dump spots. Each and every time before you travel down the road with your trailer, you should always check your tires to make sure that you have adequate tread depth and PSI in your tires so that you will not have any issues driving down the road, as well as checking your lug nuts to make sure that they are adequately tight to your hub. And at least once a year, or about every 10,000 miles, please grease your wheel bearings for your trailer by taking off this rubber cap right here. So you do have 2 axles here, so there will be 4 grease points, 1 on each side for each axle. Your supplied smoker from us at SLE. I have put all of your temperature gauges inside the smoker. We do have the trailer fired up right now for testing purposes, but the next thing that I want to go over is how to correctly light your appliances and supply gas to your trailer. So before ever turning the gas on to the trailer, we want to make sure we have 3 things done before we ever turn on the propane tank. First thing being, we always want the window open for proper ventilation. Second thing, we always want our hood extraction fan in the on position so that we do not have an excessive buildup of gas. And again, we have proper ventilation. And the last thing, most important, we always want to check all of our appliances knobs to make sure that they are in the off position. You do have a 3-well steam table with 3 control knobs. You have a 2-burner hot plate with 2 control knobs. And you have this 36-inch griddle with 3 control knobs on it, as well as your fryer as well has a pilot and a control knob. We want to verify that all those are off so that when we turn our gas on, we do not have an excessive amount of gas pouring out of your appliance. Okay, so always check those 3 things before ever turning on your propane. Once we have verified all those checks are complete, we can then go ahead and supply propane to our trailer, which I'll demonstrate for you guys now. So I am hooked up to a test tank for testing purposes. Please remember these 200-pound propane tanks are empty. Okay, another thing, please only fill these up with 25 gallons of propane. Any more than that, or 25 pounds of propane, any more than that could internally damage your regulator. Okay, so when you are filling these up, please take them to a certified gas shop that knows what they're doing, and only fill them with 25 pounds. All right, so these are going to be empty. Also, one thing I always want to discuss, these are two independent systems. They are to never be operated at the same time. Okay, it's always going to be one tank or the other supplying propane to the trailer. So I do have one hooked up right now supplying propane. I'll take you through this startup procedure for your propane. First thing you always want to do, I will show you guys on this tank right here that is empty, that is not supplying any propane. First thing we always want to do is we turn on our propane tank and just pressurize our regulator. We still have this shut-off valve down here in the off position. Okay, when we're doing that, what we're doing is we're testing the regulator for integrity, to make sure that it is operational still. If you hear a continuous flow of gas or smell gas coming out of this vent right down here, that means your regulator does need to get inspected by your local gas supply company. Okay, so if you turn on your tank and you smell gas and hear gas coming out of this vent, please turn off your tank and call your local gas supply company to come inspect the system. All right, if you turn it on and you hear nothing more than a slight pressurization change to your regulator, you are clear to go to your next step. Next step would be to turn on your gas control, your gas shutoff valve to the on position to pressurize the rest of your trailer with propane. So in the off position, the control knob is not in line with the pipe. In the on position, the gas shutoff valve is in line with the pipe. Okay, so once we go ahead and turn it on, you'll hear a slight pressurization change from the regulator. If you hear a continuous flow of gas at this point, a heavy continuous flow of gas, please immediately shut this off and shut off your tanks, your supplied tank, and call your local gas supply company to come inspect the system. When you hear a continuous flow of gas coming out of your regulator after you pressurize it, it could be a couple different things. Mainly, all of your gas pipe is ran underneath your trailer, which makes it very susceptible to road debris damage every time you travel with this. Okay, so each and every time we want to do these steps when firing up our propane to test the integrity of everything, because this is a mobile unit here, and we want to make sure that we didn't accidentally run anything over and damage our gas piping underneath the trailer, because propane is very explosive. Okay, once we turn that on, we hear slight pressurization, but we do not hear a continuous flow of gas. We do not smell any gas coming out. We are clear to fire up our appliances. Okay, please remember, at any point in time, if you ever smell an excessive amount of propane gas, immediately leave the trailer, shut the system off, turn your gas supply off, as well as your propane tank, and call your local gas supply company to come inspect the system to make sure that your trailer is safe for operation. Okay, so I already have your appliances lit for testing purposes, but to light your pilots for your burners, you'll just stick your barbecue lighter down here and light the pilot light right in the middle of the burners. So one thing that's very important, these are continuous flowing on all of your gas appliances. They are all continuous flowing pilots, which means that there's no shut-off valve for this pilot. So as soon as you enter gas into the trailer, it is going to be letting propane gas out of your pilots. Okay, so that's very important, because each and every time you leave your trailer unattended, if you leave your gas on, it will be expelling gas out of your pilot. So every time we leave our trailer unattended for a long period of time, or we're shutting down at the end of the day, we always turn off our gas shutoff valve as well as our propane tank, so that we do not accidentally fill our trailer up with propane, okay? So once you've lit those two, you are free to use the appliance as normal by turning your control knobs on and letting the gas flow through. To light your griddle top, you'll come underneath your appliance. You can see that the pilots are already lit for testing purposes through the peak holes. So to light them, we'll stick our barbecue lighter right up underneath. This wire right here goes directly to your pilot. Tube, sorry, not wire. Once you hold your barbecue lighter right underneath that, propane is heavier than air, so it does sink. If you light your barbecue lighter right underneath that pilot, it will catch the pilot. Always verify that you have lit the pilot through the peepholes. So you do have 3 separate pilots for these. Another way to verify is you can always stick your phone underneath here to make sure that your pilots are lit. Okay, once the pilots are lit, you are free to operate the appliance as normal by turning the control knobs on and lighting the burners. Alright, next appliance to light is going to be your fryer. Now this is not a free-flowing pilot. This does have a shutoff valve for your pilot light. So each and every time you are going to shut down your trailer. Before shutting down your trailer, you will have to turn this to the off position to extinguish your pilot. And so that next time when you turn on your gas, you do not have any propane flowing through this equipment. So to light this, you do have instructions on the door, but we will go over it just to show you how. So I will turn the pilot off. It gets stuck right there. You have to push the button in and rotate it fully to the off position. There is a red dot right above here. That is what you're lining up with this off position to know that you are in off. To light the pilot, we will push in the button, rotate it just a little bit until that red dot lines up with the L in the word pilot. Once that is lined up, you will push and hold in the pilot button for about 30 seconds. After about 30 seconds, then you could go ahead and light your pilot while you are still holding down the button. Once you have then lit that pilot and have a strong enough flame, you can then slowly depress the button and fully rotate it into the on position and monitor your pilot to make sure that it is staying lit. I will light it right now because it takes 2 hands. I'm going to pause the video. I will be back with you shortly. Okay, as you can see, I have lit the pilot up there while holding my button down, lined up with the L. Once I have a strong enough flame, I can then slowly let go and rotate all the way to the on position. Once I do that, I just want to monitor my flame for a few seconds just to make sure that it doesn't extinguish itself. And once we know we have a strong enough pilot and our pilot is lit, you can then operate your appliance as normal by turning the control knob down here. You will light the appliance. And once that is lit in the on position, you can then go ahead and close it. Just monitor the pilots throughout the day to make sure that they are all staying lit. Last appliance you have to light is going to be your steam table. To light that, you do have free-flowing pilots underneath. 1, 2, 3. So you'll just hold your barbecue lighter up right underneath the appliance and light all 3 of your pilots. Once you have verified those lit, you can operate as normal. Each and every gas appliance does have its own shutoff valve for troubleshooting going through the system. Sandwich prep nice and cold. Your manuals for your sandwich prep are going to be inside the unit. The manuals for your griddle and your 2-burner and your fryer, and as well as steam table, are going to be in the refrigerator. Your refrigerator sitting at a nice cool 35 degrees. And this is operational, though I don't like to keep it on because I do not know how to operate this equipment. This is used equipment supplied by you, the customer, but it does turn on and is operational. Your hood extraction fan does have all these filters in it. You do have to monitor these daily, or at least once a month. Go for a cleaning so that you do not have an excessive buildup of grease on your filters. To remove them, you'll just lift up, pull out slightly, and let down. You clean these with Dawn dish soap and hot water and allow time for adequate drying. Please remember, once you put them in, that you want to minimize the gap between the filters so that you do not have grease blowing by your filters and causing a mess in your extraction fan. You do have to get your extraction fan cleaned out of grease at least once a year. Have someone come down and sanitize your grease out of your fan. Your grease trough to your drip pan, that should be monitored daily. All right, clean out the contents of the grease of this daily. All of your appliances do have grease catches as well, for your cooking equipment at least, with your 2-burner down there, and your griddle grease trap is going to be right down there. Please monitor those daily so that you do not have an excessive buildup of grease. Each and every time before transport, you will have to drain this fryer so that you do not spill oil everywhere. To do that, you'll be draining right here, and you do have a piece of piping to extend the drain on that tube to drain your contents of your fryer. Your Motac refrigerator, under-counter refrigerator, nice and chilly. Your fire suppression system I want to talk about. Depending on what county you're in and your county's health code, you may have to get this inspected and tagged by your local city fire marshal, so please be up to date on your local county health codes and see if you have to schedule an appointment with your fire marshal to have them inspect this system and re-tag it. Your fire bottle that is supplying your fire suppression system, as well as your nozzles. With that fire suppression system, you are supplied a Class K and a Class ABC fire extinguisher. To show you that your hot water temp or your hot water heater is working, I'll try to get this to focus so that you can see the temperature rising. That water is very hot. Please be careful not to scald yourself on the hot water. Your water pump switch is going to be right down here, right underneath your hand wash sink. This is going to be only if you're running off of your supplied water, 30-gallon fresh water tank that is in the trailer. If you are supplied pressurized water, you do not need to have your water pump on. But since we are running off of the freshwater tank, we do need that water on or that pump on and pressurizing our system. A few knobs down here I want to talk about. You have a shut-off valve for your tank itself. Okay, so if you want to shut the contents of the tank off to your water supply system, you can turn that knob there. The next one down in line is going to be your drain for your fresh water tank. This drains the contents of the tank straight out underneath the trailer. Next to that is going to be your blowout valve for winterization and blowing out your lines on your trailer. Over here you do have your grease trap plumbed into the system. To show you all the outlets are working correctly, we'll go around with our plug tester. We also supply you guys with carbon monoxide and a gas alarm with the trailer. All your switches are going to be on the driver's side of the trailer when you first enter your entry door. To show you that the GFCI outlets are working, I will push to reset. It's kind of hard to tell that the lights are lighting up, but they are on. When I push this, it does trip your GFCI. All of your outside concession lights are operational and functional. Go through a couple more outlets here. Last one to test is going to be the one in your restroom, and then we will go over shutdown procedures of the trailer. Shutdown procedure for your appliances. The only appliance that we do need to shut off is going to be your fryer. As I said before, all the other appliances are going to be free-flowing pilots. So those will turn off once you turn the gas shut-off valve to the trailer in the off position. To turn off your pilot for your fryer, what you're going to do is going to go back down to this pilot control knob, rotate it till it gets to the L with pilot, push it in, and rotate it fully to the off position. Once you're in the off position, it will cut off gas flow and your pilot will extinguish. Always check to make sure that you're in the off position when shutting down. Off, off. Okay, once we have turned off our fryer, we can then go ahead and go outside to the front of our trailer and turn the gas shutoff valve to the closed position. So to shut our gas propane off to our trailer, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our supplied side and turn the gas shutoff valve out in the off position. Once we have done that, we can then go ahead and turn off our supplied propane, which in our case is gonna be the test tank. In your case, it is gonna be one of these 2 propane tanks. Once we have shut off our gas shutoff valve and turned off our propane tank, we always want to go inside and verify that our pilots have shut off. The pilots will extinguish themselves once they burn out of all the propane left in the lines, but we always want to verify that they do go off while leaving the trailer unattended. And as you can see, the pilots have slowly extinguished themselves. Verify that all of our griddle pilots are out, and then verify that all of our steam table pilots have gone out as well. Once everything is turned off, no more gas is being supplied, all the pilots are out, and all the heat is extracted and carbon monoxide, you are then free to turn off your hood vent fan and shut down your trailer. If you ever forget anything that we discussed in this video, please refer to the Sandy sticker we stuck on the inside of your door frame. It does go over our general safety and maintenance, startup procedures, shutdown procedures, and anything you should do before transit. You do have to sanitize your freshwater tank about every 3 months or so, to make sure that the water supply is clean. We thank you for taking the time to review this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to us here at Southern Lawn Equipment. We'll be happy to assist you in any way that we can. We hope you have a good rest of your day, and we wish you the best of luck with your new concession trailer.